Anyway, like, what do you think about our sign? It says if you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser. That's a pretty strong statement. So, what do you
I
think about the sign? Do you think that's true or not true?
I think not. I mean, again, I don't have any solid points, but I think because like God made animals, so it could be like a cycle. Like animals eat plants, and then we eat animals,
Okay.
and then so on.
And
And
what religion are you?
Islam.
Islam.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So in Islam, God says that animals are there for us, like
To consume, yeah.
say again,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
to
for us to
consume.
consume.
to consume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, like biologically, we are omnivores, so we're meant to eat animals.
We can eat
That's
eyelids.
why we eat canines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even that's how nature intended it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our canines, so-called canines,
Yeah.
they're actually pretty small. Like if you compare it to like a lion or a shark or like
Yeah.
a bear, like a real omnivore, they have like razor sharp teeth. So, like humans, like if we were true omnivores,
Yeah.
right, wouldn't we be able to like catch a fish right out of the river with our bare hands and then put it into our mouth immediately, like the rest of the true
Yeah.
omnivores, right?
Maybe like they used to do like that, like thousands of years ago. But I don't think we can do that anymore, just because of the society we live in,
Yeah.
and kind of like how easy things are.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but I also feel like if you don't eat animals, like there's gonna be like a huge animal population running around everywhere.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not true. We
No?
farm animals so that there's more.
Oh, okay.
So if so going along with that, like if the world did decide like, okay, veganism is a moral obligation, we shouldn't eat animals anymore,
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't happen in like one day or 24
Right.
hours. So I guess the idea is that would be a gradual thing over time, and
Yeah.
so the animals, they wouldn't really just be like stuck without a place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there are places like animal sanctuaries. Have you ever heard of like the vegan
Yeah.
sanctuaries that are in the area?
I haven't heard of anything in the area, but I know of the fact that you're saying that.
Yeah, so every once in a while, there's like a cow will break free from like a slaughterhouse around here. It'll
Okay.
be on the news and stuff like, oh, there was a bull in the streets of New York and like he was running around because they like want to escape when they're in those places.
Okay, so you think it's better to like keep animals in those places, or is it better to live them in like let them live in like a free environment, like a jungle or forest or somewhere where they can easily like live their own lives? Because if you do have an animal population that's out of our hands, so because we're not eating them anymore, then we will kind of be forced to keep them in places where we have like, let's say, 100 goats in one room or something.
Yeah.
like,
So, did you happen to see some of the footage that she was showing on the TV before? Like, no, not really.
no,
Okay,
no.
so if you get a chance to look at that, it's like the places that these animals are kept, like
Yeah.
like the places that are in this documentary that we're showing, like Dominion, factory farms and places like that, and even products that are labeled like free range,
Yeah.
like they're all trapped, like stuck in these big indoor, like dark, enclosed sheds, places like that.
Okay.
And there's like 10,000 birds to one shed, and they call this free range.
Okay.
And so, like one edge of like this massive barn, there'll be like a doggy door, and
Right.
some chickens get to go out that, but the chickens, like, they're not as smart as humans,
Yeah.
so they basically live their whole life. They don't even realize that there's a door to the barn that they're in,
Okay, I see.
and there's like can be up to 10,000 birds packed into one barn. They still call it free range, and a lot of these birds, like they just die like in the factory farms because there's so many birds packed on top of each other that they cannibalize each other, so they start eating each other because of the conditions that they're living in.
I mean, that's wrong. I agree that they shouldn't do like that, because honestly, we consume chicken. We don't know the background story where it's coming from, so we can't really point out on that. But I feel like, yeah, that's wrong. They should maybe keep them in a safe place, or where somewhere where they can kind of like live freely.
Yeah. So let's
Like-
talk about the word humane for a second, because all these products. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh no, but I was also gonna say that even if you keep them somewhere for a few days, after a few days they'll still be slaughtered and like eaten by humans and stuff. So
Exactly.
so I don't know if there's like
Yeah. So if let's say the animal lives a great life and is
Yeah.
super happy and like has a bunch of friends and family and like green pastures and like can do whatever it wants, like
Yeah.
it's living a great life, right? So we're saying like, okay, this animal is being treated really well.
Yeah.
So then if so then like a short time into their lifespan, once they reach their like desired body weight by the industry, like they're still gonna go and they're still gonna get killed. So isn't it almost more cruel to like take away the life of someone who's enjoying it rather than someone who's suffering a lot?
But all at some point everyone's gonna die. But I mean, it's just how the world works. If you're trying to make it fair for every animal, every human, then it's not gonna work out like
Yeah.
that.
Plants are like living things, and you should like it's kind of that same argument.
Yeah. So plants are like living things too, right?
Yeah.
So
So the thing about the plants,
The agriculture industry also harms the environment, and people say like the meat industry harms
Yeah.
the environment, but so does the agriculture
Right.
industry. And then that also back to my like nature point, like vegans don't have like a fully like veganism is a nutrient deficient diet. Like there are some nutrients you just don't get if you have a fully vegan diet. Like you have to supplement it with
which ones?
like B12. I think you have to supplement your diet with it. Yeah. So it's not like without those supplements, it wouldn't be enough for your body, right?
Well, the thing about that is, that's funny because actually the last guy I was just talking to, he's also mentioned B12 supplements. So it's true that most people in the United States, whether you're vegan or not, most people are actually B12 deficient. And so the thing about animal products is like they do contain B12 in them. So if you consume animal products, you're getting B12. But where do the animals get their B12 from?
I don't know. I don't know that much.
Plants?
About
Yes. All these animals that you eat, like pigs, chickens, cows, like all this food that they're eating, it doesn't naturally contain B12. Like they're just eating like grains and cereals and oats and soy and things like that. These are not foods that like nutritionally always contain B12. It's because the industry makes sure to supplement the animal's feed because like that's a nutrient that they want to have in their products. So it's not even like it's for the animal's sake that they're putting B12. Like, oh, we want the animals to like get their vitamins and minerals. No, it's only because they want to make sure that their flesh, once they kill them, slaughter them, cut them up to pieces, and then send them to grocery stores and restaurants, then the people will be like, oh, you can say there's B12 in this product, and people will order it for that reason. So yeah, the thing about B12 deficiency, most people are B12 deficient, whether you're vegan or not. But a lot of vegans, they make sure to go out of their way to get a vegan multivitamin that contains B12. So whether you are vegan or not, you're actually getting your B12 from supplements either way. Yeah.
My only thing is like because I've been used to eating meat my whole life, so I can't really.
I was too.
Huh?
I was too, by the way.
Yeah, you were too. Cause me is I'm like how people are vegan like you. I'm like a non-veg, so I can't. So I don't like vegetables to eat at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like a pure protein. Like I love my beef, my chicken. I don't eat pork, but like that's just because of religious reasons. But
What are the vegetables that you hate the most? What are your least favorite vegetables?
least favorite? I would say maybe
It's like the vegetable that I put down in front of you, and you're like, yuck, that's disgusting. Get that out of here. Tomatoes?
tomatoes.
Anything else besides tomatoes?
Besides tomatoes, yeah, Brussels sprouts and maybe
I think they're so good.
gobi ko kya kehte hain?
cauliflower? I like cauliflower. I don't like
Cauliflower,
broccoli.
yeah, cauliflower. I don't like broccoli either.
Okay.
I don't like
What about like
I don't even eat like.
what about potatoes?
Oh, I love fries.
Potatoes are vegetables. I mean,
Yeah,
French
yeah.
fries. I don't know if I'm gonna call French fry vegetable, but potatoes are. What about sweet potatoes? You like sweet potatoes?
I like sweet potatoes.
What about eggplants? You like eggplants?
Nah.
What about mushrooms? You like mushrooms?
No, I hate
No?
mushrooms. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, okay. So we all have foods that we don't like, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you go vegan, if you do it for like the animals, like that we're showing in this like factory farms and slaughterhouses here, if you're doing it for that reason, you might not even care. Like you would say, okay, I enjoy the taste of these products.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna like, if you want to say, like, first of all, let's get back to the sign for one quick second. Like, do you think it's true or not true that when you consume animal products from places like factory farms,
Right.
that you're consuming products of like unnecessary cruelty and violence? Would you say that's fair or no?
I'd say I don't know if I'd say unnecessary, but I mean I'd just say that's a way of life. That's how we've been functioning for like the last couple of million years.
Right. But so if you have the choice, like if you can live vegan, a happy, healthy, thriving life as a vegan, then isn't it a choice whether or not you want to consume animal products?
I wouldn't be happy.
I wouldn't be happy. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy if I can't eat meat.
Okay, so who would be less happy, you as a vegan, or the animals right now who are in factory farms and slaughterhouses?
How I feel about it is that animals have a purpose.
In a factory farm,
Yeah,
the two of us chose not to.
and I just feel like that's their purpose for us to consume them, and that's what our religion teaches. And it's like humans are superior to all other animals, right?
Okay.
Do you agree, right? Or I don't know. At least I think that humans are superior to.
In what way are humans superior to all other animals?
And mentally, like you know how we think,
More intelligent?
way more intelligent. Yeah. Plus, other than that, I mean, just in terms of doing stuff like what humans have achieved, I don't think animals have achieved.
Technology.
Technology, everything, right? So, and then even for to take care of animals, you need humans. Like without humans, all animals wouldn't be able to take care. Some might, but like other than that, I feel like humans are large population of animals are observed by and taken care of by humans too. So I just feel like that
Those would be the domesticated animals, right? That we breed into
Yeah,
existence in order to slaughter them and like use it for food.
exactly, yeah, 100%. So
I was gonna say like morality is super subjective. It changes according to the times we live in. Like 100 years ago, people
Yeah.
thought slavery was moral.
I
now
want to
people
get into
think
morality.
it's moral.
yeah,
And like 50 years ago, people thought being gay was immoral. Now
Yeah.
it's accepted by society. Like it's very subjective. So it depends on where you derive your morality from. And if you believe in any like religion, if you're a religious person, almost all of the big religions are like believe, I guess, in eating and consuming animals. So I think that's also like a big
Yeah.
reason why it would be like hard to convince people that it's
Yeah.
immoral.
so,
So,
like for
let's-
example,
Go
sorry
for
to
it,
cut you
go
off.
for it. No.
So like I know
think
for
we're gonna say the same thing.
so yeah, so for basically like if you look at Hinduism, you know they're not allowed to consume meat and stuff, so they do it for that reason. Whereas in
If you're, like,
Islam, like
Christian,
you know,
Jewish,
or
Muslim,
Christian,
those
you're
are
allowed
all-
to do it. So even if you question your own morality, you think that okay, it's coming from the God that you know God said that you can eat animals. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh okay, like you know that kind of
Yeah.
gives you the unless you're like you know if I'm not a strong believer in religion and I don't believe in God, then I
so-
might be like you know
Yeah.
hey,
So-
like talking about me personally, not anyone else, but yeah.
Okay, so let's say like someone else had a belief, like so in Christianity and Islam, in the Bible and the Quran, it allows for consumption of animals, right, in order to survive and like eat. God says He gives permission to eat animals, like if it's done in a certain way, maybe, right? Because there is that caveat in there where it's like gotta be halal, right? So even in that, there is like a level where it's saying like, okay, well, we need to be somewhat considerate of these animals, right? Yeah. All right. So let's say, going along with that, so let's say if someone else's religion, like someone else practices a religion, and in their religion, it says, okay, you're allowed, you're given permission by whatever scripture, whatever thing that they subscribe to, God, deity, says, okay, we give you permission to like eat and kill and eat, if it's for your own nutrition and subsistence, other humans. Let's say there was a religion like that out there, right? And their belief was, okay, we have permission to go around like kill and eat humans. And let's say they came to this block. Let's say they were in Jersey City. And they were running down the street at us, and they see the three of us here.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you guys look pretty tasty. I don't know. I think I want to eat you." Would it be acceptable to you? Would you be like, "All right, well, it's in your religion, so
Yeah.
all right, that's fine with me. Like, go ahead, kill me and eat me and cut me up. Like, enjoy my body, and like as long as you get nutrition from it, it's okay." Would that be all right with you?
No, that wouldn't be alright, but that's like my
Isn't that kind of what this situation is, where someone is saying, okay, that it's my permission, like I've been given permission that I can do this, so therefore I'm justified.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that you know you choose your religion wisely too. So you gotta research and study. You just don't go by how you're brought up. Like I just wouldn't be like, oh, my parents told me that.
So more on that point. In the Quran, if you follow Islam, it says, okay, it's permissible, but does it require that in order to be a good Muslim that you have to eat meat? Is that something that's in the Quran? Do they mandate it? You have to eat meat to be So you could, hypothetically speaking, it's possible that you could be. It's not impossible that you could be a vegan Muslim, right?
Oh, 100%.
That wouldn't go against
I know
any
a lot of
rules or
vegan
anything.
Muslims, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not,
so-
and I don't have anything against veganism. I
Yeah.
do get it that it's, people do it for a morally good, point of view. So
Yeah.
so it's I mean I definitely appreciate it, but
Yeah.
it's just like personal choice. If it were to come down to my morality, I wouldn't be bothered too much by it because that's how I've been raised and I've been doing it, and
Yeah.
it's not, God doesn't say anything
Yeah.
against it. But if it were to come down to, let's say, like they make meat illegal or something that you can't eat it, then obviously you'd have to like switch out to veganism. But
People don't always follow the law. But
Yeah,
you're kind of right. If you didn't want
Yeah.
to be that risky, then yeah. Well, I don't think any of us are like really advocating for a meat like ban. Like we want to talk to people who like make the decision, right? Because like this screen over here is showing footage from the dairy industry right now and the egg industry. So it's not just meat, like that's an animal product. Like people don't always make the connection to what happens to animals. Like obviously for meat, when you sit down and you eat a piece of an animal, it's clear that animal had to die for you in order to consume that. With dairy and eggs, it's actually less clear because like you're just getting this product and it's like, oh well, they lay them anyway or they make milk anyway. But do you know why cows produce milk? Why do cows make milk?
To feed their babies.
Yeah.
To feed their babies. So what's the thing that has to happen in order for a cow to produce milk? If this thing doesn't happen, then there's no milk being produced. What is it?
Like pregnancy and giving birth.
Yeah, exactly. So just like a human being. So what happens to the babies once they get born? Do they get to drink their mother's milk?
I don't know.
Yeah, so they don't. They get separated like immediately, like first day of life. That they take the babies away from the mothers. And we have footage of this, by the way. And the mothers, like, they chase after their babies. They're yelling for them, and they spend like days like yelling for their babies. So, do you think that animals are capable of like feeling emotion and love and like also suffering like the same way that humans can?
Yeah, I think so because we have a dog too, so we hang out with her all the time. So you do feel like, especially when we leave her alone, she gets like separation anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel like animals do have emotion, and I'm not saying that
I think it's
like
What about these animals? The animals that are in the factory farms and the slaughterhouses.
see that's what I'm against because like as I said, like our religion tells
Like,
us
what if
that
it was dogs in there?
if there were dogs in there too, I mean, so I don't know. It would be. I think it would be the same thing. Like if people start eating dogs, if society used to eat dogs, and that's how things were. There might be dogs instead
What's the
of cows.
difference between a dog and a pig or a chicken or a cow? What's the difference?
No difference.
Is there
I don't think there's any difference.
difference?
It's all the same. Yeah. But the reason, like how like when we were talking about religion, so like how Islam says that when you slaughter something, you gotta make sure that you slaughter from this vein, as a jugular vein, so that they don't feel any sort of pain. So as soon as you slaughter them, their life is gone. But I am against the way they're trapping animals and the way they're keeping them in those places. That they shouldn't do that while they're alive. Yeah, I guess like when it's time for them to slaughter them, they just do it quick so that the animals don't feel any pain. But before that point,
Is that a humane thing to do to someone? Like these products, they're all labeled humane.
yeah.
Like all these slaughtered animals, like when they get sent to grocery stores and wrapped in plastic and they're sitting on the shelf there,
Yeah.
it's all labeled humane certified.
Yeah.
Is it a humane thing to do to someone to cut their jugular? Like
Not
if you cut my jugular right
Yeah.
now,
not
would I be like, oh, that was super humane of you to do? Thank you so much.
not
Like I
for-
appreciate that.
Not for humans, but I guess for cows and chickens
So what's
and
the
animals,
difference?
yeah.
So what's the
The
difference?
difference is that humans are superior.
No, it's not. That's not the difference.
So wait.
No.
Okay, in what ways? In what ways are humans superior to animals?
Superior as
By
in
the way, humans are animals, but
humans are animals, but I feel like we're supposed to eat. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna argue that humans are not superior, then and you're just saying we're just animals, but you wouldn't judge a lion for eating a deer. That's its
Yeah.
diet. That's what it's
no,
meant
I
to
wouldn't.
eat.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
judge a lion for eating a deer.
So why
Right.
is it
Yeah.
why is it wrong for us to eat animals? We're also meant
We're
to
also-
So
eat
wait. Are you saying that because a lion will eat another animal alive,
Yeah.
like in the wild, is that a justification for a human being to do the same thing? Like if I just decide like, oh, I'm just gonna go like kill someone and eat them, am I justified because a lion does that?
No, but But I
Can
feel
I
like
get all my
that's how-
morals off wild animals who like are carnivorous? Like, is that a good way?
That we're
No.
also
But
animals.
we are animals. We are.
But we wouldn't. Yeah, that's like as I said, like my point is that humans are. That's how the world works. Humans eat animals. Like we are
Everything in
superior.
life has a certain purpose.
Yeah, and that's the
So-
purpose of a chicken or a
But
cow.
that goes back to the same thing though, because what if someone else said that your purpose was just to be there for somebody else?
But no one else says that though.
Yeah.
That's not. That's
Because-
not, you're
but
talking
because-
about a
Humans are at the top,
hypothetical
right? Humans are
situation.
at the top of the food chain, and
Right.
then everything else is at the
But
bottom.
isn't that a very convenient argument for you to make? Because you, as a human being, regardless of what race or religion you are sitting at the top of the food chain. So you can say like very easily, okay, well, everyone else below me on the food chain, like, yeah, like that's the way it is, and because I'm a human being, I'm superior, and like I made it that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying. So like the same way, if we took that same thing and put it in a human context, that would justify anything that anyone wanted to do to anyone else, as long as they believed that they were so-called superior. And this happens all the time in the world. Human beings do this to each other.
My religion tells me that we are superior. Like my God tells me that humans are superior. So
are like humans
Yeah.
build everything. Animals are just like they just.
Right. Well, humans are also destroying the planet, aren't we?
we are. 100%.
Right? Like the Amazon rainforest is being burnt to a crisp for by the way,
Yeah.
for making all the soy that feeds. Do you know how many humans are on the planet right now?
I don't know, a couple
7
billion.
Exactly.
7 billion,
7-8 billion. You know how many livestock animals there are on the planet right now?
Assuming a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's way more than humans. So take a guess.
Like 20 billion,
More.
30 billion,
More.
50,
More.
100 billion.
year, like just how many animals we kill. More.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah.
Say maybe 80 to 100.
Yeah, like 80, 90 billion. So there's way more animals on the planet than, like, more animals die every year on the planet than humans have ever existed. Like, and there are studies that are saying that the ocean's going to be empty by 2050. Empty, no fish. Like, already there's huge ocean dead zones. And, like, so there's so many reasons why, like, eating animals is detrimental. And so if you're going to say, like, humans are the best and that we can do whatever we want to other species, then I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to say, well, what about the fact that we're destroying the planet that we live on? How smart is that we are like basically committing suicide by the way that we are treating animals and the planet?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
You think God would be happy that we're like trashing the planet and also treating animals like really poorly?
But like trashing the planet and destroying the environment is a different thing than like slaughtering animals.
Right.
That's humans doing as well.
I know. I'm
But-
just providing a counterpoint to when you're saying like humans are the best, like humans are most intelligent, which on a certain level we are the most intelligent. Sure, I'll give you that. But what about this really stupid stuff that we do too? So
Oh, that I agree. I don't agree with everything
I wasn't
they're
trying to
doing.
take the
Yeah,
topic
yeah,
off the
yeah, yeah.
animals, but
No, I agree. Like, not everything we do is good. Obviously, we're destroying a lot of things. We're destroying our planet and all that. Like, that makes sense. I even told you, like, what we're doing or how we're keeping those animals is not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I personally, yeah, we
Do
could.
you think there's a humane way to kill someone if they don't want to die?
an animal?
Anyone, human being or animal.
Human
Is there a
being?
humane way to kill someone if they don't want to die?
I mean, not really. If they don't want to die, obviously not. But with
What does humane mean?
like
What's the
hum-
definition of that word?
so basically, humane is right, like a more appropriate way, or something that could be accepted by the society. But I would,
Having or showing compassion or benevolence.
yeah,
Passion or benevolence.
yeah.
So when animals go through a slaughterhouse, they get their neck sliced open and they wind up in a supermarket and they get their bodies are labeled with the word humane. Is that a true thing? Are those products really humane?
I don't know. I mean, it is.
Do you buy that? Do you buy that they're humane?
I've honestly never seen that. I just buy my chicken and
You don't even
marinate
look at
it.
the
I
labels.
don't even look at the label personally.
You don't even check to see if it's free range or cage free. You don't look at all.
No, not really. Personally, no. Because it might be selfish, but it is what it is.
veganism kind of like elitist? Like buying anything free range is way more expensive than buying.
all the arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is because buying something free. Because I know she would look at the price label, and
Yeah.
buying free range is way more expensive than buying
Like
whatever.
organic and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even humane when you buy the free range stuff. So why are you even paying the extra money? But
Yeah.
anyway, about the elitist thing, which is more elitist? Saying that animals are here for us and we can do whatever we want to them and kill them and eat them. Okay, but it's not actually more expensive to be vegan if you don't want it to be. Some of the cheapest foods in the grocery stores, supermarkets are what? Bread, rice, beans, carbs, pasta, lentil, legumes, high calorie foods that are entirely made from plants.
No, like if you like
Name-
vegetarianism, I still get, but if you take veganism, it eliminates
Name
so much
something.
stuff.
Name something that you eat right now that you don't think you could eat as a vegan. Name one food.
That you couldn't eat?
Yeah. Like, what do you think you would have to give up to go vegan? And I'll tell you if you actually do.
Steak, fried chicken, chops, burgers.
I'm even thinking like, oh, like if I make like a vegetarian pasta, the sauce still has like milk or cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even baked goods
Yeah.
have eggs.
Don't we have vegan? Haven't you guys seen all the vegan alternatives that are out there? Like for all these different products.
I've tried like Beyond Meat. I've tried like mushroom patty burgers. I've tried
Yeah.
different things like that are made out of like alternatives, but I haven't liked it. Like I haven't enjoyed the taste.
But those but those plant-based meats, like we don't really have to eat those. We could survive off like, like the whole food plant-based diet, like fruits, vegetables, not the ones we don't like, the ones we do like, like grains, seeds, nuts, legumes. Okay, so back to the question. Yes, you can. There's plenty of vegan bodybuilders out there. You get plenty of protein. They're out. They're huge. But anyway, I don't know if he is. He's been in some movies, but there are some legit vegan bodybuilders out there. I promise you, they're massive. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off. But
No.
we're running late.
yeah, I appreciate your time, but I just want to leave you guys with this. Like, for every day that you aren't vegan, unfortunately, like, you are causing a lot of pain and suffering to animals, whether you like it or not.
If the two of us become
Yeah.
vegan, there's still gonna be
These millions.
But it's not going to happen on your behalf anymore, because when you go to the grocery store or restaurant and you give them your money, you're telling them this is okay with me and I want you to do it again because I'm going to come back. The fact that I'm buying this right now says that I appreciate this product, I want it, I'm demanding it. So when you give them your money, you're causing it to happen to the animals. So it will still happen, but it won't be for you. It won't be caused by you anymore.
I understand, but for me, I guess like it comes down to the point if I feel bad about it or not. I mean, it's a sad world, but I think it is what it is. And like,
So if there was another group of humans, who thought they were superior to Pakistanis or Muslims, could they do whatever they wanted to you? Would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
So how is that different from what you're saying to the animals? You're saying that because you have a belief that you're superior to them, that you can do whatever you want to them.
Because that's how the world's been working since it.
But that was the same thing. They made the same arguments about slavery too. They said this is the way that's always been, so that's why we're justified to do it.
Yeah, but slavery was like we were exploiting other humans. Here we're not exploiting other humans. I guess.
So what is the difference between a human being and an animal that makes it okay to exploit an animal but not a human? What's the difference?
I did say that intellectually we're superior.
But then you could say the same thing to human beings, though, because you could say, okay, this mentally disabled person who can't talk or speak, I can do whatever I want to them because. So does might make right because you're stronger, you're superior, your belief then justifies you
But I guess my belief
to do whatever you want.
Yeah. But I guess. Oh, sorry. No, I just like to end at that. That my religion justifies it, and
So then, if someone else's religion came along and said they could do whatever they want to you, you would be okay with them doing.
so I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't exploit any other human being, but as far as
But you're
animals
not
are
naming the
concerned-
difference. You're not saying why. You're not saying why it's okay to do it to humans and not to animals. You're not like.
I feel like it's just because we've been doing it all the way, and I just love chicken, love beef.
Makes them really
Well, you are an animal abuser, are you not?
I don't like to call myself that.
But you are you not?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you should look at the footage that we're showing, and if
But-
you're buying that stuff, then I say that you are.
I'm just buying it. They're the ones doing it, so I'm just eating my chicken.
Yeah, but you know what's happening to them.
If I'm not gonna buy it, someone else is gonna come.
Do you think they're suffering?
Huh?
Do you think they're
I
suffering?
think the suffering that's happening before they're slaughtered is an actual suffering, but I wouldn't say that once they're dead, like if they don't feel it, then and like we don't-
So if someone
maybe
cut-
they're in a better place.
So if someone cut your jugular, then that would be no pain associated with that, right?
Not for me, but for like my family, yeah. But I mean, as I said,
If someone cut your jugular, there would be no pain associated with that.
I don't know how that works, but as far as I've read about
Come
it, I
on,
don't
man.
think
Are you
it's,
serious?
maybe for a
You think if
second,
someone
like
cut
a
your,
millisecond, but
you don't think like watching yourself drain of blood
no,
and then suffocating on your own blood that's pouring out of your neck? You don't think that would cause distress or be painful or cruel at all?
But I guess when you cut the jugular, right? That's like you just leave the life comes out of you. Like
Have you ever watched an animal like have its throat cut?
Yeah. I've actually started.
So is it instant when that happens? Is that instant for them? Do they not?
I think so. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think so.
I don't think you're being honest.
I think so.
But I appreciate the
I read about
conversation.
that,
I don't
but-
think you're being honest, but I thank you
No.
both for talking.
Yeah,
I
no, of
appreciate
course, man. All right, good luck with
All right,
it.
man. Take care.
Good luck with your vision.
it. What do you think?
So if
Do you want to sit down, by the way?
I stand up the whole
Okay,
day, so I
that's fine. Can you just stand over here?